Hello guys, my name is Glurmit and today I'm joined by Brosho. Brosho is probably one of the best Separatist players in the game. I mean, you just look at look at the Separatists, guys, and you'll see so many R9s, all of the Omicrons, apart from the such. That's disappointing. And other than that, yeah, we're going to be going and asking them some questions specifically about the Grievous team today. Would you like to introduce yourself?
Hi, I'm Brosho.
Sweet. So before we dive into the Grievous part of this video, I just want to ask you, from the Omicrons, we're looking at Trench, Droidica, Poggle. For the majority of people out there, which of these have you enjoyed and which ones haven't you?
Droidica's been awesome.
Yep.
Especially in TW, obviously. Trench has been extremely underwhelming.
Yep.
And Poggle has been super underwhelming at first after they nerfed it, but then it was really good after we figured out how to use it.
Sweet. That's awesome. Okay, so the next question, people are probably going to look at your account and say, what is going on? So do you want to give us a little bit of a history lesson on the B1? Because I know that's pretty cool.
Yeah, so B1 Battle Droid is my favorite character of all time.
Yep.
In Star Wars and outside of Star Wars, I just love him. He's amazing. So I got, when G13 was first announced, I had world's first G13 B1, and then first R7, first R9, first R8, all of it.
Okay.
And I just love him. He's great. He's so cute. Look at him.
He does have a pretty cute face, right? Okay. And the last thing before we dive into the Grievous stuff is just looking at the relic levels. We can see that most of them are R8 or higher, with the exception of the Geos, really, and Newton or Temple. So, from the ones that are higher relic, which of these have benefited you at higher relic? Because I'll give you an example. My account obviously is similar GP to you, yet Grievous is like relic 7, everyone else is like relic 5. So like, when we look at these and yours are much higher, which ones have really changed your gameplay, or have they not really done a lot?
So I feel like Magna Guard and B2 taking up to higher relics is definitely good.
Yep.
It makes the team super tanky. Grievous is amazing, obviously, because of the ship on top of the extra stats. B1, don't sleep on him. He does a lot of damage at super high relics. You can look at my damage.
Oh my days, that's high.
Yeah, he hits pretty hard. And that's nothing to sneeze at there.
Yeah.
And of course, I love the faction, so of course I'm going to take them to higher relics.
It's a
Plus
bit
platoons. You got to think about platoons too.
That's true.
Yep.
That's good.
Magna Guard and B2 are both required at higher platoon level.
Right. That's very similar to my love for the Smuggler faction. I really like it. So now we've kind of gone over the history of your account and spoken about your hatred for Trench currently. Let's let's move on to the topic of today's video, which is going to be specifically about Grievous. So, in Grievous teams, just in case there are people that don't have him or don't use him too much, what is the standard team you're going to be running?
So there's a few different options. It's Grievous, B1, Magna Guard, and B2 always.
Yep.
The fifth is always the question. Sometimes Newt, sometimes you can use Watt, but I think he's wasted there.
Okay.
You can use Droidica for a full droid team.
Yep.
And then you have BB-8, which I think a lot of people forget about.
Right.
Because the droid synergy.
Yeah, BB-8 is crazy good for giving you that turn meter early on. And again, I noticed you got R8 BB-8. Wow, your Grievous team is just looking really, really hot right now. So now we've kind of gone over the team there. I like how you gave a few examples. You said sometimes you use Droidica, sometimes you use Newt, occasionally Wat Tambor, and sometimes BB-8. So when does this change? When do you decide you want to use Newt over Droidica, for example?
Sure. So, Newt I typically use for offense. Droidica is primarily just territory war.
Okay.
I think he's generally worse in GAC overall than Newt is.
Yeah.
BB-8 I think is a strictly defensive team.
Yeah.
If you guys are putting that on defense in GAC or TW, because it can stop some counters.
Oh, absolutely. The Grievous with BB-8, and if they're well modded, I know from experience that team, if you don't go in correctly, you can very quickly lose.
Yes.
And now we're going to kind of go over, like, what teams are you actually beating with this Grievous on offense? I mean, a lot of people are going to know that you can beat C, you can beat JML, but is there any other interesting teams that you can use your Grievous to beat?
Yeah. So you can beat Jabba with Grievous. Well, especially with the last Datacron set. With the current one, you still can, but it risks timeout, and it's very finicky.
Yeah. That's pretty amazing. I know I saw a video a while ago on Grievous at least taking the sides out, but I didn't realize that Grievous can just straight up kill Jabba. That's pretty insane.
It's pretty guaranteed to take the sides out. Chrysanthemum is the big hurdle.
Yeah.
But you have to put it on auto at some point, and you have to kind of time when you put it on auto.
Okay.
And that's what the struggle is.
Mm-hmm.
And if you don't do enough damage early enough in the first 45 seconds, you're not gonna be able to get through it.
Yeah.
Even with high relics.
Yeah. No, I think that's really, really interesting.
But it's possible, which is interesting in itself.
Okay. So now let's think. There may be some people that aren't necessarily end game or late game. What are they using Grievous to beat? You know, those middle tier rosters and below.
Sure. CLS is easy counter.
Yep.
Darth Revan beats most of those.
Okay.
C, as you mentioned before.
Yep.
At the very least, it'll take out all the sides, but if you can match the relic levels and you play it correctly, you can take out C, the whole team.
Yeah.
CLS is probably the most common big counter.
Yeah. Okay, that's pretty cool. Now, if it's okay with you, if I go into my squad arena, and hopefully there's something here, would you be able to walk me through a Grievous battle? Now, I have fallen a lot for some reason, so there's weaker teams here. Sure. But if I flick through and you see a team that looks pretty decent, any of these that you want to have a go at killing with Grievous?
Sure, let's take the CLS, because I think that's what most people in the middle game are going to be taking.
Now I've got to refresh a billion times until it shows up again. Oh man, I hate this system so much. There we go. So it is a lower gear CLS, but the strategy is still gonna be the same here. So let's start. Now my relic levels are nowhere near as good, and my B1 is nowhere near as good. But
sure,
let's go for it. So tell me the lineup and the team, and we'll get going.
Yep, I like B2, B1, Magna, and Newt.
Okay. I won't bring a Datacron, and then go ahead and walk me through this battle so people out there can learn this amazing counter.
Sure. So you want to put that on Luke, the middle ability on Luke.
Yep.
Make him pay the taxes.
Luke does not look happy about that.
AoE.
Yep.
Okay. Now go after Chewie. OG Chewie. Second ability.
And who?
You're trying to get a target lock up, and you can just heal Magna.
Okay.
You want to heal whoever's low.
Sweet.
So we're talking banners anyway. AoE, clear all the buffs.
Yep.
And you always want to be targeting someone that has target lock, because B1 assisting will give you turn meter.
Mm-hmm.
So I would use the AoE because it'll give you AoE target lock.
Sweet.
Basic. Keep trying to kill Chewie. AoE. Because you're going to build turn meter off of all of them. Big hit.
Then I take it we're going to heal up B2, right?
I would target Luke because the special does the target lock,
okay.
And you're going to automatically hit everyone else and build turn meter. So he's the only one without target lock. And that one applies target lock. So
okay.
You want to hit everyone targeting him and heal B2, yeah.
Sweet.
So now everyone has target lock. So go back to Chewie.
Yep.
And I like the basic here.
Okay. Sweet. He's out.
And then you want to kill Chupio.
Okay.
But you can AoE to gain the turn meter, but I like stunning him, so the third one.
Is that gonna land with a blind? I don't know if you can see that through the stream.
Oh, he is blind. Yep. Okay, so yeah, then it doesn't matter. Just basic.
Okay.
Basic. But go after Chupio.
Sweet.
AoE. Build the turn meter. And everyone has target lock, so it doesn't matter who you target, but heal up. I would heal Newt.
Okay.
Because you already lost one life. AoE again. They can't counter when they have... Oh, you can't AoE. But they can't counter when they have target lock.
Okay.
So I would go after Han.
Yep.
I save Luke for last year.
Okay.
Make him pay the taxes, the middle one.
Alright.
And go for the third one.
Yep.
And then just heal up so you can get decent banners.
Alright, sweet. Cool. So hopefully that helps some of you out there. Obviously that was a lower gear CLS team. There's still decent relics in the team. But hopefully that gives you an idea of what you can be using Grievous on offense for. Thank you for walking us through that.
It works at parity relics.
Yeah.
If you're above, obviously it's easier. If you're lower, obviously it's a little tougher.
Yeah, and I'm sure for you it's always easy because who has a full R9 CLS team? Oh man. Yeah. Okay. So we've kind of gone over a lot of stuff here. The last thing people are going to be, asking about when it comes to the Grievous team. So we've gone over the relics, we've gone over the Omicrons earlier. The last thing I'm going to kind of ask, we're not going to go too into detail for it today, but is there any key mods for the team? So for example, if you had to pick one character on the team and mod them insanely well, how would you do it, and which one?
There's a couple.
Okay.
Actually there's a few. But B1, you want straight offense. People like modding them for speed. Speed is really good because the more teams you take, the more stacks you're gonna build.
Yep.
But I personally like balancing the speed with offense. I think having an offense arrow is the best. I'm still looking for my white whale, an offense arrow that has good speed.
Yep.
With an offense primary, but haven't found it yet. I've been looking for 4 years.
And one day it will show up. One day.
It's gonna happen. Yep. But you obviously don't want to prioritize health and protection. You just want offense, speed, tenacity, and potency.
Right.
And then Grievous, you want health.
Okay.
Potency is very good too.
Yep.
All his damage, everything is based off his health. He gets health steal. Like it makes him really, really tough if you prioritize health.
Okay.
Droids, some people will tell you make him fast so you can get the roll.
Yep.
I don't like that, especially with the Omicron.
Yeah, makes sense.
He's going to be damage immunity anyway.
Yeah.
So I like going straight offense.
Yeah. I have to admit, I am in agreement here. I think unless you use Droidica with Maul to get him to get Frenzy off, I'm a big fan of slow. Because I've had it before in Territory War, or just in GC in general, where if Droidica's the one who gets marked and you don't have a Dispel, or your Dispeller dies, the game's basically done. Like, I think it's quite nice for when it does work.
Yep. Yeah, and B2 and Magna, you just want them thick. Super thick. It doesn't matter if you go health or protection, just make them thick.
Yeah. I am pretty jealous now of your B2 especially, and your Magna. Like you saw in that last battle, my Magna Guard pretty much almost died in the opening onslaught from the CLS team. I feel like if you had higher relics, that would be pretty fun.
Oh yeah, it's a tickle.
And the last thing... before, I like the potency. On your Magna Guard.
Yeah. You want to be landing the debuffs. The big deal is target lock, so that you can build the turn meter. Plus, Magna also has stun, and then B2 has the debuff and buff immunity.
Okay.
So good. Love this team.
And the last thing I'm going to ask you before we head off is going to be, how does this team do in territory battles in PvE focused gameplay? Now, I know from talking to you this isn't your favorite part of the game, but how does this team do?
So in Rise of the Empire in the dark side, I can get a combat mission in all four. We don't do the fifth planet,
right?
But I can go 2/2 in the first 3, and then 1 of 2 on Haven.
Wow.
Which is the 4th.
Really? You can go 1 of 2 on there?
Yes, absolutely.
That is pretty amazing. Now, I don't know how much of that you'd have to have high relics for this, but that right there, for those of you who do not do the later, I say this is later, but the later phases of Rise of Empire, this is really, really tough.
It is.
So the fact that you can take Grievous in is pretty amazing. I know from the first, from Mustafa, for example, Grievous actually does better than some GLs here, funny enough. That's pretty interesting.
I usually use Grievous, Grievous team with GBA to do Acklay on Geonosis, because the Acklay, in that one, the GBA still has the ability to quell the enrage, and it does pretty well. Same concept, just get target lock, build, and then kill.
All right, awesome. Thank you for coming on. I hope some people learn a little bit more about Grievous and your love for Separatists. Hopefully, if you ever come on the channel again, you would change your view on Trench, because R9ing him and all those Omicrons must really hurt to have that hatred towards him.
I love him. He's great, but he's just not good.
Yeah. I do feel for you. Like, that's why my Trench, like, you know, we're almost 2 months on from him coming out now, and my Trench is still sitting there. I mean, I can show you here. My Separatists are nowhere near as good as yours, but my Trench is still sitting here. You know, just I've never had the chance to even take him up, and it's like, when do I even do it? Part of me's thinking if I get his Datacron, I might take him up just so I can have a reason to. Otherwise, he's just gonna be left there for a while.
I have the Datacron, and it doesn't even. It's not enough. Poor Trench.
Poor Trench. All right, thank you anyway, and I guess I'll see you another time. Thank you to everyone who's watched the video. If you enjoyed it, like, follow, and subscribe. My name is Glurmit, and I was joined by Brosho. I hope you guys enjoyed the video, and as always, guys, have a glurming day.